What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to Peace, Love, Happiness 101. And today we have another phenomenal video for you guys. As much as we've been dealing with a lot of things when it comes to coronavirus, shutdown, and everything that's going on right now in 2020, we also have to pay attention to climate change. Climate change has been and is probably going to be one of the biggest problems that we'll have to deal with when it comes to today's reality. As you can see in California right now, there's been fire going all over the place. And if you look on the news or around social media, you're going to see that the entire place is being evacuated because of wildfire. And right now, I know that a lot of us might not be able to basically help or donate anything, but the one thing that we could do is to pray for them, because regardless of us not being able to reach or financially help somebody, by praying for them, there's definitely going to be some miracle that could take them away from those situations. So the other day I was watching Divorce Court. I've come to realize that most couples that would come before the court are people that are trying to get something out of somebody when it comes to the relationship. It's like the first couple came in, they were complaining about certain things. The second came in, they were complaining about certain things. And most of those things made me realize a lot of people are focused on specific things in a relationship, and when they don't get those things, sometimes it gets frustrating. But the problem with it is a lot of people fail to realize that you wanting one thing doesn't mean that's the only way to get it, because a relationship, it's a bunch of stuff combined into each other. They all connected, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of things that you have to do in order for you to get to the next step. It's not just, I want this, well, you're supposed to give me this, you're supposed to give me that. Because if it was the case, a lot of people wouldn't even be in a relationship. If you don't have your own method to understand your own relationship and also your partner, it's gonna be quite difficult for you to even go and stay in a relationship. So after watching this video, I felt like it was necessary to give you guys a breakdown, more of a concrete breakdown. I'm gonna use a few metaphors, a few things that could help you understand exactly what a relationship needs in order for you to call it a relationship. Don't just ask for bedroom time just because you feel like you didn't get bedroom time. In order for you to get bedroom time, you have to get your wife ready to get bedroom time. And for you to get your wife ready to get enough bedroom time, there are a lot of things that you're gonna need to do. It don't just happen like that. You don't just get up and then, oh yeah, this is what I want. There are work that needs to be done. You have to prepare yourself, you have to prepare your partner to get to the level where you're at, so you guys could basically make things work. So today I'm going to be using a car. We're going to use a car, something that most people are familiar with. We go to work with our vehicle. We go to school with our vehicle. Basically do most of the things in our vehicle. And most likely, if you don't move as often due to the pandemic, there's going to be a car somewhere that you're probably going to be aware of. But anytime we think about car, the first thing that comes to mind is the engine. You know, the big block of thing that's basically in front or behind the car, depends on how expensive your vehicle is. So the big thing is about the engine. Why is it so important to have a good engine in your car, or to even have an engine? Because without an engine, the car won't run, right? Without the engine, there's basically nothing you can do. It's just gonna be empty space because the car won't be able to move or go anywhere. So the engine is very important. So your relationship, any relationship that you're in, what's the engine in your relationship? So the engine in your relationship is supposed to be the foundation. The foundation of that relationship is what we're gonna see as the engine. Because without a good foundation, guess what? The relationship won't really go anywhere. And anytime we talk about foundation, we're gonna talk about those two expensive things: trust and honesty. Honesty and trust. They never leave each other. They're always with each other. Anytime you think about foundation, we're gonna have to establish honesty and trust. Why do we even have to talk about honesty and trust? It's because if I don't trust you enough, I won't know if you are being honest. And without you being honest and trustful, there's basically no way that I'm going to be able to even start a relationship with you. And even if sometimes you don't even know the person happened to tell you things that you didn't believe or didn't know, by the time that you find out that the foundation was bad, that the trust wasn't there, that the honesty was never there, that's going to be a problem for the relationship. So this is the first thing. Use your foundation as the engine of your relationship, all right? Because regardless of what, even if the car start running, if those things are not in order, at some point you gonna stop. Regardless of what it is, regardless of who you are, you gonna stop. The second thing that we have, I'm gonna make a big of a jump right now. The second thing that we have is the spark plugs. Spark plugs, for some reason, people don't think spark plugs are important. But the main thing about spark plug is that this is a combination of fire. If your spark plugs start to misfiring, your car is gonna start shaking. And at some point, if all your spark plugs are bad, the ignition won't even receive fire in order for it to run or to even start the vehicle. That's one of the important things. What's the one thing in anybody's relationship that could become a little shaky? Something that could bring misunderstanding. Something that anytime you think about it, you realize that it's necessary to have it in your relationship. That one thing is communication. So the spark plug of your relationship is the communication. Because anytime we get to the point where we don't communicate, the relationship starts to shake a little bit. You start to puzzle things that are not supposed to be there. We start assuming things that are not good. And anytime we start assuming things with a different mind, we're going to assume the worst. And by us trying to communicate with each other, the only way we're going to be able to fix it is to tell each other exactly how we feel and communicate in the right way. Because regardless of how we see it, the minute we stop communicating or we don't communicate at all, at some point, the relationship's gonna collapse. And that's one of the main things that you have to pay attention to. The third one that I could say is basically just as important as the two first ones. Batteries are important, almost just as important as a lot of other things in the car. But my question to you right now, if we were to talk about batteries in your relationship, something that brings power, something that is essential in your relationship, what would it be? Some people might say money. That's wrong. That's entirely wrong. Some people might say money. Some people might think the materialistic things of life could be the battery of your relationship. And anytime you think about battery, you think about power, you think about energy. But for the battery of your relationship is you two to be independent. Whenever you're in a relationship, trying to find the best way to be independent in that relationship. Why do you even need to be independent in a relationship? Because most likely people are going to tell you when it comes to a relationship, the both of you become one. Yes, that is entirely true. But the one thing that a lot of people forget to understand is that by becoming one doesn't mean that you're still not a person by yourself. You need to be independent because you don't want to be in a relationship for all the wrong reasons. For instance, if somebody is not as independent as they're supposed to be, they're probably going to be in a relationship just because they need help. They're looking for something that they can't give themselves at the moment, so they ended up being with the person because the person's going to be able to provide that to them. By you being independent, that changes the entire thing. You're going to look for better things, more positive things to be in a relationship with someone because there are a lot of things that are fundamentals that you're able to provide to yourself. Which means by you being independent, 100% you'll be happier in a relationship because you're not looking for things. You're not trying to puzzle up a bunch of stuff. You're not trying to connect things just because of your financial gain or because of your materialistic gain or because of things that you've basically been pursuing that you couldn't get yourself and now you find a way to get it. It's not going to be that at all. It's just going to be something that, okay, I'm able to provide myself with a lot of things. The only thing that I'm looking for you right now is to be in a relationship with you where we could love each other. So by you being independent, it makes it easier for you to understand the pattern of love. The fourth one is something that I feel like people don't think when it comes to relationship. We don't think that the fourth one that I'm about to say is as important as we should think about it. The fourth one is the alternator. For anybody who understands alternator is the thing that recharges the battery in the vehicle. That helps recharge the battery. So by the time that you're driving your vehicle, if it wasn't for the alternator, guess what would happen? The car would stop. And by the time the car stopped, you would need to either fix the alternator or check your battery. Regardless of what, you would need somebody to help you get off the road, because without the alternator, the battery won't recharge, period. And the one thing that I can see a lot of people basically are not doing as much as they want to, especially when it comes to women wanting their husband to basically give them that. The alternator in a relationship is the reassurance. You need to always be willing to give reassurance to your partner, 100%. You have to keep recharging that love. You have to keep giving reassurance. It's important that you keep doing that. It's important that you don't stop with that method. It's important that if the person is feeling low right now, you have to find the best way to give them that security they need. Keep recharging the relationship. Keep doing things that are important to the relationship. And reassurance doesn't mean just words. Reassurance could be actions. You could do something for your partner to the point where she realizes that, I guess you still love me. That's the kind of reassurance I'm talking about. I'm not saying that you have to keep talking. I'm not saying that you have to keep trying to push things on the person, but keep doing things that are so significant to the point where it also reminds the person why they fell in love with you first place. And I understand why sometimes how easy it is to forget reassurance, because we have so many things to worry about to the point where we want our own reassurance. You know what I mean? Sometimes, despite the fact that the other person needs it more than us, sometimes we don't pay attention about that because we have so many things going around us. Reassuring your partner is very important in any relationship. So that's something you definitely need to think about. I hope that this video was as informative from me to you. Leave us a few comments below. Let us know what you think about the video. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. We'd like to thank each and every one of you guys who've been with us from the get-go. We appreciate the love, we appreciate the support, we appreciate all the comments on each post. And for those of you that are just coming in, we welcome you to the channel. Feel free to look around, and don't forget to leave us a subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we have so much more to show you. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.